Hey everybody, I have another deck tech for you. Today is actually for a commander deck for Zedruu the Greathearted. I actually labeled this deck Zedruu the Trollhearted because it is partially a group hug deck, but is also a deck where you can give cards to your opponents that they do not want from you. So it's actually a fun deck. If you want to make enemies, this is a very good deck to play. And so let's go ahead and go through the deck right now. First, of course, we have our Zedruu. Creatures, we have Empress Galina. This is a fun card because you can actually gain control of their commander and then give it to somebody else. So if you're playing multiplayer, it actually creates a lot of fun opportunities. Now we have Windborn Muse. Windborn Muse is for protecting yourself early on in the game because creatures cannot attack you unless their controller pays 2 for each creature attacking you. So it actually does deter them from attacking you, and it actually makes them attack other people. Then we have Captain of the Mist. First ability is not something that's really going to affect you too much, but it's the second ability that will help you out quite a bit. It's a good ability overall, but there is actually a land card called Sorrow's Path, which we'll get into later, which you will want to tap quite often. Next we have Goblin Diplomats. Remember, you can use this ability during your opponent's turns. You can actually have them attack, force them to attack. Be careful, because they can of course attack you, but if you have the right protection, you will basically force themselves to attack other players. Next we have Bazaar Trader. Going with the theme of the deck, you will want to give away stuff that you do not want, or anything that you have taken control of, to other people. We have Luminate Primordial. This is a pretty big deck. It's basically for the removal. You can take away any of their creatures and you gain life in the process. Life's not a big deal, but it does help out when you're below in the game and you just need to catch up. Next we have Azorius Guildmage. I really like this ability. Both abilities are very useful. Tapping a creature helps protect you in the long run. And countering a target activated ability actually helps out quite a bit in EDH, especially when it's creature heavy games and metas and so forth. You will be using his second ability quite a bit. Next we have Nin the Pain Artist. This is basically for card draw, but you can also use it for removal as well. This card actually has gone up in price quite a bit because people are actually using it itself as a commander, and it is very, very useful. Now we have Roil Elemental. I put this in the deck basically because you do want to gain control of creatures, and then you can give it away to another opponent, so that's definitely part of the fun. We have Charmbreaker Devils. I put this in the deck because there are some instant and sorceries cards that I do want to get from my graveyard and I do want to reuse again. Boros Battleshaper is a new card that I recently put in. I haven't really tested it out yet, but it seems like it can be pretty fun if you're playing against commander decks that have a lot of creatures and they attack often. We have Gwafa Hazid, Prophet. This is mainly for the defense. Basically, they can't attack or block your opponent's creatures, and if you absolutely have to, you can use it on your own creatures as well. Remember, it is really for the attacking and blocking, so if you use it on creatures that you control that normally don't attack or block anyway, you can definitely use it for them and get a card in the process. Now we have Vedalken Plotter. When it comes to play, you basically get to switch control of lands. If they have any good lands, take one of theirs, give them one of your basics, or Sorrow's Path even, and definitely it helps out with Zedruu's ability as well. Vengeful Archon. I put this in mainly for the defensive ability. It does help you out, and it basically turns you into what is known as a rattlesnake. If you have this creature out, the people are hesitant to attack you because of its ability. You can actually redirect the damage back. And so there's, again, it really contributes to the main idea of the deck. Kuzul, Tyrant of the Cliffs. I put this in also for its defensive capabilities. Paying 3 is very annoying, especially when their creatures are going to be blocked. And if you put this in addition with Propaganda and Ghostly Prison, all those type of cards, they'll be paying a lot of mana to attack you. Again, you're trying to deter them from attacking you and basically attacking other people. Steel Golem is a pretty nasty card because if you give this creature away to your opponents, they cannot cast creature spells anymore until they get rid of it. So pretty funny for you, not for them. Dominus of Fealty. Every upkeep you will gain control of target opponent they control until end of turn. But if you gain control of it and give it away with Bazaar Trader or Zedruu, you're basically gaining control of everybody's permanents, giving them everywhere else, and you can even give it to yourself. Wall of Denial is a very good defender. Has Shroud, Defending, and Flying, and it's 0/8, so this will be blocking for you for quite some time. Rhox Faithmender goes very well with Zedruu's life gaining ability, and it really does help you out in the long run because you're gaining that much life and people are just gonna keep on hitting you, but you're still gonna have tons of life. Ruhan on the Fomori. This is of course part of the stock deck. I didn't take it out. It's a cheap way to get a 7/7 out for 4 mana. You're not really gonna care about his attacking ability so much. But definitely you can keep it in your hand, and then when the battlefield is clear, you just bring it out for cheap. You start attacking them, and it works out pretty well. Now, we have cards that will help you with draws. Howling Mine definitely helps out everybody. You have this out, most people are going to keep you alone because they do like the extra card. Mind and Bound. This can get pretty crazy if people don't have removal for this, and you will be actually drawing a lot of cards with this card in the EDH. Stolen Goods. Stolen Goods is fun as part of the troll aspect. You gain control of something that they have in their library, or you can cast one of their spells. So, and the random factor actually makes it pretty fun. Font of Mythos. You get to draw 2 additional cards every upkeep, which is always nice. Training Post is great. I just really like it. It's a good utility card, has a lot of abilities. Anytime you need anything, you need life, you need a blocker, you need to return something back from your graveyard. It's a good all-around card for Commander. I do recommend it for a lot of Commander decks, actually. Paradox Haze. This card gives you an additional upkeep. This is great because definitely you have your Howling Mines and your Font of Mythos. It also works with your Zedruu very well because you get its ability twice. So Paradox Haze is very great for this deck. Rhystic Study. Whenever an opponent plays a spell, you may draw a card unless a player pays 1. This is actually a very annoying card, and many of your friends may not like this card because you will be asking them, do you want to pay 1? Do you want to pay 1? And but you will get a lot of card advantage from this enchantment. Again, this is not a player-friendly card, and a lot of people don't like it because of how annoying it is, but it definitely helps you out in the long run. Faith Spetters is a good removal and protection for yourself. You get the life as well. Additionally, most people who play Zedruu will recognize that if you enchant this on one of their permanents, which includes planeswalkers and creatures, you can actually technically give it away and the ability will still be on that creature. So it doesn't really matter. And you actually gain an additional X for Zedruu as well. For removal, I have Mogg Infestation. This is a pretty powerful card because it basically destroys all of their creatures. They do get the 1/1 goblins in the, out of it, but if you have enough defensive cards such as the, again, Ghostly Prisons and Propaganda, no one's going to really pay 2 mana for a 1/1 to attack. So this is a great card for Zedruu. Next we have Mind Games. Mind Games with the buyback works out very well, and I would use this with Sorrow's Path mainly. Next I have Oblivion Ring. Again, if you use Oblivion Ring to get rid of any of their stuff, you can give control of it to somebody else, but the ability will still exist. So it's a win-win situation. Next we have Oblation. Oblation is great for commanders because you're basically shuffling their commander into their deck. Very annoying. They cannot use the commander ability to put it back into the command zone, and people will really hate you for this. The 2 cards that they draw for it is nothing compared to what you're doing with their commander. Next we have Return to Dust. This is a good removal card because it removes target artifact or enchantment from the game, and if you play it during your main phase, you may actually do it again. So this is very worth it for the 4 mana. Spell Crumple is good control, and it actually shuffles. Well, not shuffles, sorry. It puts it on the bottom of owner's library instead of the player's graveyard. So again, if they're playing their commander, you can actually put it at the bottom of their library. Really annoying card. People hate this counterspell. Oust is a very cheap way to get rid of a creature. Condemn, additionally, again, it's a very good way to get rid of creatures, especially if you're playing against commanders that have Tron decks that, you know, they try to basically, or Voltron decks, they try to put everything on their commander and attack. You play Condemn, put it on the bottom of their library, they will not see it again, and most decks like that will pretty much scoop. Detention Sphere is great. Again, the multiple ability, where it exiles multiple targets, doesn't really matter too much in EDH decks, but Detention Sphere is just a great card. Dismissing the Dream was a new card that I put in. It is actually a card, is mainly for your other players, because if they have any type of ability or activated ability that targets, you're basically clearing out their board. So it's a fun card, not really meant for you, but really for your other opponents. Next we have Soul Snare. This is another Rattlesnake card. People are hesitant to attack you or your Planeswalkers. Mana Flare. Mana Flare is great because generally, again, people are hesitant to attack you when you're giving them benefits. So Mana Flare definitely doubles up their mana, it doubles up your mana as well, and people will try to concentrate on other stuff. Boros Signet, good mana rock. Izzet Signet, another mana rock. Prophetic Prism. I really like it for the mana fixing. This is a 3-color deck, so sometimes you do need cards like these. Helm of Awakening speeds up your decks a little, because all spells cost 1 generic mana less to play. Remember, this does affect everybody, so again, people probably won't attack you because they do like the benefits of this. Armillary Sphere is always great because you can look for 2 basic lands. It does help out with ramp. We have the Boots. It does help protect Zedruu and any of your creatures, gives them haste if necessary, but I really play this for the hexproof. Soul Conduit is a fun card, especially in Commander, because, again, another Rattlesnake card. People are very hesitant to attack you, knowing that you can exchange life totals with them. And remember, notice that it says 2 target players exchange life totals, so it doesn't have to be you. You can actually replace and substitute life totals between different players as well. So it's a lot of fun. Ghostly Prison helps you out with protection, because creatures have to, or controllers have to pay 2 for each creature that attacks you. Spiritual Asylum. This is actually a good card early on in the game. It helps protect you. You probably won't have creatures that you will be attacking with, but if you do, at that point you probably won't need this anymore. So it's a very good card early in the game. Helps protect you quite a bit. Lightmine Field is another card where people are hesitant to attack you with. Darksteel Plate is great because it does help make Zedruu and other creatures indestructible. Definitely good for board wipes. Propaganda, which is basically Ghostly Prison, but the blue version. Jinxed Idol is fun because since you have Zedruu, you'll easily give this away. You also have Bazaar Trader, Donate, and so forth, and it's easy for you to give this away. It will be difficult for them to give it back to you. Elixir of Immortality is always good. You will definitely have a lot of cards in your graveyard, so you can shoveling back to your library is always a great idea. Counterflux. In case you're playing any type of deck that is combo heavy, Counterflux definitely can help you out, and it can't be countered as well. Illusions of Grandeur. If you don't know the combo, basically if you have this, you give it to somebody else, you gain the 20 life when it comes to play. You give it to somebody else, they can't pay the cumulative upkeep, they're the ones who lose the 20 life. So it is a 40 life point swing, and it's a very fun card. So this is, again, another Rattlesnake. People are very hesitant, knowing that if you're going to give this to them, they are not going to attack you. A lot of fun politics with this card. Lightning Greaves, again, good protection and haste. Donate is another card that gives things away to other people. Insurrection is going to be your game winner. Basically, once the game has gone on for a while and everybody has a decent amount of stuff, If you play Insurrection at the right time, you will gain control of all the creatures, and you can basically attack with everything. So this is your game ender right here. Thought Lash is another game winner. If you give this away, and they do not pay the community upkeep, then basically their entire library will be exiled. So this is definitely something that you will want to play and immediately give. So make sure you have at least 7 mana to play this and give it away at the same time. Political Trickery is another card where you can just simply gain control and switch control of lands. Mindslaver is another Rattlesnake card. If you have this out and you have the mana to activate it, people are not going to attack you because they hate it when they lose control of their turn. Next we're going to go into the lands. Again, depending on your budget, choose whatever lands you have. This deck still is pretty good. It is a tricolor deck, so you do want the cheap mana fixings at least, like Terramorph for Expanses and whatnot. But if you have duels here and there, go ahead and put those in. They definitely do help out with the deck. So we have Izzet Boilerworks, Vivid Craig, Terramorphic Expanse, Sulphur Falls, Azorius Guildgate, Vivid Creek, and now we have a Sunhome, Fortress of the Legion. I like this card because it helps out with politics. The second ability, target creature gains double strike until end of turn. Remember, it is not your creatures only, but it can be your opponent's creatures as well. So it definitely helps out with politics. If you want to get rid of a certain player or even a certain creature, give that creature double strike and kill it off. Rupture Spire, mana fixing. Reliquary Tower is always good because you will be gaining a lot of cards in this deck, and your hand will get really big, so this is actually a necessity. Vivid Meadow. Desolate Lighthouse. If you, again, have, for some reason, a lot of cards in your hand but you don't need any of them, go ahead and use Desolate Lighthouse to filter through your deck. Izzet Guildgate. Sorrow's Path. As most Magic players know, Sorrow's Path is considered one of the worst cards in Magic history because of its pretty crappy ability. However, this crappy ability works in your favor because you will actually give it away. Most EDH decks don't usually play single land destruction. They might play massive land destruction cards here and there. But Sorrow's Path, basically anytime it gets tapped, not just for its ability, which is pretty bad, the owner of the card will actually gain 2 damage, and every creature they control gains 2 damage as well. So if you know back in the beginning of the video, you have Captain of the Mist that can tap it. You have the card with Buyback that can tap it and untap it. So this is actually pretty fun. You can actually give this away and actually wipe their board with a land card, this crappy land card, Sorrow's Path. So it's actually one of my favorite cards in this deck. I just love it. It just looks so old. It's just so bad. The art is just so funny. But go ahead and try to get this. It's a pretty cheap card too, so it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend this card right here. And then for the rest we have basic lands. So I hope you had fun with this deck. It definitely is fun to play. If you have a lot of people to play Commander with, people will love it at first because of all the benefits that they will get, but then eventually once they realize that you're basically taking advantage of them, they're going to start hating you. So, and at that point you'll have a lot of cards out that will protect you, and people will not want to attack you at that point. So it is a very tricky and sneaky deck. It's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. Many of the cards are not too expensive or pricey, so it can be considered a budget deck as well. So I hope you guys had fun. Please subscribe. Let me know if you guys have any requests, and I'll see you guys next time.